to the prosperity of a nation, let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, the Rivers State Governor-elect, Deputy House of Assembly members-elect received certificate of return. Federal government says court cases won't stop handover to President-elect Bola Tinubu. Abia PDP to challenge governorship election result in court. The Labour Union extends strike ultimatum on cash scarcity. On the foreign scene, fire kills 38 at Mexico Migrant Center on U.S. border. I am Kala Dakurubatibo. Good afternoon. The River State Governor-elect, Siminalayi Fubara, has commended INEC for conducting one of the best elections in River State with the introduction of the BVAS. Mr. Fubara said this today, shortly after the presentation of certificate of return to him, his deputy Ngozi Odu, and to State House of Assembly members-elect by the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC. He, however, noted that there were hitches during this year's election and called for proper training of INEC ad hoc staff.
This election is one of the best that INEC, and the secret is because of the introduction of BIB. I want to commend you for this innovation. Although we have a little issues here and there, I believe going forward, INEC should ensure that other staff, including their staff, are given proper training early enough so that the hitches we experience, more especially in the presidential election, will not be experienced in future elections.
Mr. Fubara thanked Rivers people for voting for him and for believing in the incoming administration, which he said will continue to drive development in the state.
Today is a manifestation of that belief. It's 33/33, 2/2. I thank the Rivers people who have come out in their numbers to say we believe in the present administration and we want the administration to continue. I will not end by not assuring the Rivers people that the development they are recording by our principals will continue with it. We will ensure that though the bar has been raised for us, we will also raise the bar for whoever is going to take over from us.
The governor-elect also called on opposition parties to work with him to ensure a better River State.
My opponents, or will I say the opposition, our doors are open, including our windows. If you don't want to pass through the door, you can enter through the window. Because we really need everyone on board for a better and progressive River State.
Moving on. River State Governor Nyesom Wike says he's happy that Yocha Ayu has finally stepped down as PDP chairman. Governor Wike said this at the commissioning of the Trans-Calabari Road yesterday.
I said nobody can suspend him, but today he has backed out from the office. We have an acting chairman now. I told him, you will go, whether you like it or not. Those lawyers telling you that the world has no power to suspend you is only NEC. Then you don't understand. When you came, it was the world that suspended secondary, and you went and took office, It is not that you know that's only NEC. Let me tell you, since the report told you, the court has struck off that section of our constitution to say that NEC only. So you don't know what and PDP did not even appeal the judgment.
The governor also said the governorship candidates from the Calabari ethnic nationality in the 2023 governorship election did not contest to win the election but to gain media popularity.
Now they have opportunity to appear before Arise News. They were not running to win. They were only running to see that let people know they are there. And I thank you for identifying that they were not serious and they didn't want anybody to take you backward. You won very well, Senator. You won. All the candidates of Cole, of Dumo, of Winike, of Danike, of Papaike, all of them. And you want those two who will always do video to intimidate people. You want them there.
In the meantime, some Port Harcourt residents have reacted differently to the exit of Yocha Ayu as national chairman of the PDP. Some of them spoke to our correspondent.
If you step down, it would have made Wike to support Atiku, and it will lead to Atiku winning.
It's of immaterial whether you resign or not. Atiku and his camp never wanted Ayu to resign. They knew quite alright that even if Ayu resign, Wike and his southern leaders, they would have supported them.
And still thing go still go. Wetin Wike be they do say, as mean PDP come together, they for still get slight chance they go shake the elections. PDP for still no win. As far as the person they contest under PDP now from north, but PDP said go still pull weight. I like what Wike did, so that Nigeria will balance.
Yesterday, the National Working Committee of the PDP announced Umar Damagam as acting chairman of the party after Iyorchia Ayu stepped down as chairman. The National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Degbo Olagunagba, while announcing this at the press conference, said the change in leadership was due to the High Court order restraining Senator Ayu from parading himself as the party's chairman. As you may know, Ayu was suspended last Thursday over alleged anti-party activities. In another development, security analyst Ayuba Tanimu is worried that for more than 2 weeks, security agencies, especially the police, have not arrested and prosecuted those accused of masterminding various electoral violence during the just concluded elections in Bevis State. Mr. Tanimu, while reviewing the activities of the security agencies, told correspondent Suibi Oruwari that rather than the loud silence, there should be a review of the security architecture for better performance.
The security agencies fail woefully. Prior to the election, during the election, after the elections, there are actions that we expect the security agencies to take to be able to tame or to postpone some of these very issues, but nothing has been seen. Prior to the elections, we have seen where people are issuing threats against others. The free country, we expect that security agents will go after those individuals, but nothing has been done. And because nothing like that is done, it gives people the encouragement to go ahead and perpetrate all sorts of calamity during the elections.
The security analyst, however, attributed the voters' apathy witnessed during the governorship election to lost confidence in the security system. Elsewhere, the PDP in Abia State says it will challenge the declaration of the governor-elect Alex Oti at the Election Petition Tribunal. A statement by the Abia State PDP Vice Chairman and Acting State Publicity Secretary Abraham Ama said the party will challenge the outcome of the election in 6 local government areas where the Beavers machine was allegedly not used for accreditation of voters. As you may know, Abia State Governor Kezie Ikpeazu has congratulated the state's governor-elect Alex Oti and has urged the candidates who lost in the election not to challenge its outcome to avoid distractions to the incoming governor. The national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, says no newly elected members of the National Assembly under the party will defect to other parties. Mr. Abure, who spoke in Abuja after meeting with the National Assembly elect members of the party, said the party will make a difference to deepen the nation's democracy. He said the federal lawmakers under the party are men of integrity. The federal government says the transition of power from the President Mahmoud Buhari to the President-elect Bola Tinubu will be smooth and peaceful. Chairman of the Transition Committee, Boss Mustafa, while speaking to journalists in Abuja on Tuesday, said court cases will not stop the handover ceremony from taking place. He said that the Security Subcommittee has been given the responsibility to ensure no truncates handover.
We have election, we have provided for avenues for those people to litigate whatever legal inquiry they want to make. But the process continues, and I can assure you that we're putting everything to ensure that the formal process of handover takes place, and we do not create political or constitutional crisis. 29th of May 2020, that by the grace of God will come as
ahead. Labour Union extends strike ultimatum on scarcity. Stay tuned as we go very quick.
Nigeria Info.
Thank you for staying tuned. Welcome back now to the rest of the news bulletin. The Nigerian Labour Congress has suspended the planned picketing of CBN offices across the nation over the scarcity of naira. The Rivers State Chairman of NLC, Alex Agwanwo, said the national leadership of the Congress decided to extend the strike ultimatum for another 2 weeks to observe the compliance of the various banks in the country. He also said the NLC has monitored some banks and observed that the banks have complied with the CBN directive.
So having looking at the level of compliance, we also found out that most of these banks are also compliant in terms of vision, payment of customers. And for us, we think it's a wake-up call. And having looking at what's in all the reports from the State Council, we feel that we should also give an extension for another 2 weeks for effective compliance because there are still queues both at the ATM machines and inside the banking halls. So we expect that within that 2 weeks, those queues will continue within that 2 weeks. We hope that they will continue with that because any attempt to stop from what they have done so far after 2 weeks, I think we have to resume the strike back.
The leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC and Trade Union Congress TUC extended the strike ultimatum it earlier issued the federal government for 2 more weeks following consultations with their affiliate unions over the cash crunch policy. A state high court in Port Harcourt has convicted and sentenced one Praise Galson and Usman Garba to 7 years imprisonment for breaking into the home of Patience Jonathan, wife of former President Goodluck Jonathan, to steal valuables worth millions of naira. The court, presided over by Justice Adolphus Enebili, also convicted and sentenced the second defendant in the matter, Tamuno Alaturu, to 6 months imprisonment for negligence to our duties. President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in former Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase as the new chairman of the Police Service Commission, PSC. The new PSC boss took the oath of office today at the council chamber before the start of the Federal Executive Council meeting. It was confirmed by the Senate 2 months ago. In business, the Rivers State Civil Service Commission is calling for applications from qualified candidates to fill the vacant posts in the state civil service. The commission says applications must be made online at the commission's dedicated website. In entertainment, presenter and comedian Paul O'Grady has died at the age of 67. His family said he died unexpectedly but peacefully on Tuesday evening. In sports, Argentina captain Lionel Messi passed 100 international goals as he scored his 7th international hat-trick in a friendly win at home in Curacao. The 35-year-old forward reached the landmark when he opened the scoring on 20 minutes in Santiago del Estero.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
At least 38 people have died at a migrant processing center in Mexico in a fire that officials say started during the protests against deportations. Many of the victims had traveled from Central and South America trying to get to the U.S. The city, located across the Rio Grande River from El Paso, Texas, has seen an influx of people in recent weeks. Many have been heading to the U.S. border in expectation of an end to Title 42, a pandemic-era policy which gives the U.S. government the power to quickly expel migrants trying to cross its border. On the news this afternoon, you heard Rivers State Governor-elect, Deputy and House of Assembly members-elect have received their certificate of return. Federal government says court cases will not stop the handover to President-elect Bola Tinubu. Abia PDP to challenge governorship election result in court. Labour Union has extended the strike ultimatum on cash scarcity. On the foreign scene, at least 38 people have died at a migrant processing center in Mexico. The news was edited by Martha Okeri. Cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Kalada Kurubatbo. This stay tuned, interesting programs lined up for your listening pleasure. Good afternoon once again.